What if I told you that the physical laws you've trusted your entire life, gravity, cause and effect, the separation between your thoughts and the material world, are actually far more flexible than you ever imagined? What if there's a mental technique so powerful that it literally bends the fabric of reality itself? And the only reason you haven't heard about it is because it challenges everything modern science wants you to believe. Stay with me here, because what you're about to discover might completely shatter your understanding of what's possible. For over a century, there's been a carefully guarded secret, a method that allows ordinary people to influence physical reality through nothing more than focused consciousness. And while mainstream science has spent decades trying to dismiss it, recent discoveries in quantum physics are proving that this technique isn't just real. It's been working all along, whether we acknowledged it or not. Think about your own life for a moment. Has this ever happened to you? You wake up feeling anxious about something, and suddenly the entire day seems to conspire against you. Traffic jams, difficult conversations, unexpected obstacles appearing out of nowhere. Or perhaps the opposite. You feel genuinely confident about an opportunity, and somehow everything just falls into place with almost eerie precision. Coincidence? Most people think so. But what if I told you that you were actually collapsing quantum possibilities into physical manifestations without even realizing it? But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Here's the truth that changes everything. Reality isn't this solid, unchangeable thing happening to you. It's a projection being broadcast outward from within you. Every thought you think, every emotion you sustain, every belief buried deep in your subconscious is sending invisible signals into what physicists call the quantum field, an infinite ocean of pure potential surrounding you at every moment. And that field? It's responding with absolute precision, collapsing possibilities into the physical experiences you encounter every single day. For decades, traditional psychology dismissed this idea as pseudoscience, too radical to take seriously. They preferred slower, controlled methods that kept people dependent on endless therapy sessions. But there was one visionary who refused to accept those limitations. Her name was Florence Scovel Shinn, and she discovered something that modern neuroscience is only now beginning to validate. Your mind isn't just processing reality, it's actively constructing it. The world you see isn't separate from your consciousness. It's being filtered, interpreted, and literally shaped by the mental architecture running silently in the background of your awareness. What you're about to discover might surprise you, because this isn't about positive thinking or wishful manifestation. This is about a specific mental technique that operates at the intersection of consciousness and physics, a method that operates on a principle that Florence Scovel Shinn called the neuronal field theory. Now, this wasn't just some abstract philosophy she created. It was a revolutionary framework that completely transformed how we understand the relationship between consciousness and physical reality. What she proposed was radical for her time. Yet it's exactly what quantum physicists are now confirming in laboratories around the world. Your brain isn't just a passive receiver of information from an external world. It's an active creator, a powerful transmitter broadcasting signals into a universal field of infinite possibilities. Think about that for a moment. Right now, surrounding you in every direction, there exists a field containing every possible version of your life. The version where you're financially abundant, the version where you're struggling, the version where relationships flow effortlessly, the version where you feel stuck. All of these realities exist simultaneously as potentials, as waves of possibility waiting to collapse into actual experience. And here's the hidden truth that changes everything. Your mind is the device that selects which possibility becomes your lived reality. Your thoughts aren't just chemical reactions happening inside your skull. They're frequencies being broadcast outward, interacting with this field, collapsing potential into form. Your emotions aren't just feelings you experience privately. They're magnetic forces pulling specific possibilities toward you while repelling others. And your subconscious patterns, those deep beliefs you inherited from childhood, absorbed from your culture or formed through past experiences, they're running like programming code in the background, silently determining what your conscious mind is even capable of perceiving as possible. If this resonated with you, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next insight that might be exactly what you need to hear. Now, I want to go even deeper into this topic because understanding this next piece is absolutely critical to making any real transformation in your life. Imagine your mind as a cinema projector and the universal field as an infinite screen of pure potential. In a movie theater, the projector doesn't create the screen, but it does determine which images appear on it. Your internal mental structure works exactly the same way. The field contains everything, but your beliefs act like filters, deciding which data gets through. Your emotions act like magnets, determining what you attract or repel. And your subconscious acts like the director behind the scenes, running the show based on patterns you might not even consciously remember forming. This is the hidden architecture of reality itself. Most people walk through their days assuming they're observers in a pre-existing world, reacting to circumstances beyond their control. But the impact of this revelation is staggering because it means you've never been powerless. You've been the artist painting the canvas this entire time, just unconsciously. Every decision you make, every emotion you sustain, every belief you hold is essentially a vote for which version of reality will materialize next. The journey from where you are to where you want to be isn't about forcing change in the external world. It's about shifting the internal frequency so that a different reality naturally emerges. Write in the comments, "I'm ready to shift my frequency." The real revelation here is that this isn't just spiritual philosophy or metaphysical theory anymore. Modern quantum physics has actually caught up to what ancient wisdom traditions have been teaching for thousands of years. There's a famous experiment that completely shattered the foundations of classical physics. And once you understand what it revealed, you'll never look at your thoughts the same way again. It's called the double slit experiment, and what scientists discovered was absolutely mind-bending. When they fired particles of light through a barrier with two slits, something impossible happened. When no one was observing the particles, they behaved like waves of pure possibility, passing through both slits simultaneously and creating an interference pattern. But the moment a measuring device was introduced, the moment consciousness observed what was happening, those waves instantly collapsed into definite particles with specific locations. The observer didn't just witness reality, the observer fundamentally changed it. Your consciousness isn't separate from the material world. It's actively participating in creating it, moment by moment, collapsing infinite possibilities into the specific reality you experience. This is documented scientific evidence showing that the external world responds to who you are on the inside. Your state of being, your dominant frequency, your internal conviction about what's possible. These aren't abstract concepts floating around in your head. They're signals being broadcast into the quantum field, and that field is responding with absolute precision. But here's where the journey gets even more fascinating. And this is where most people encounter the hidden obstacle they never saw coming. The real challenge isn't understanding this intellectually. The challenge is recognizing just how much of your life is actually being run on autopilot by programming you didn't consciously choose. Research in neuroscience shows that more than 90% of your daily decisions aren't coming from your conscious, rational mind at all. They're being directed by a hidden operating system that's been running in the background since childhood, quietly determining what you attract, what you avoid, and what you perceive as possible or impossible in the first place. Your subconscious mind is where the real power lives, but it's also where the invisible barriers hide. It stores everything. Every casual comment your parents made about money when you were 5 years old. Every heartbreak you experienced. Every moment someone made you feel unworthy or incapable. It holds beliefs you inherited from your family without question, patterns you absorbed from your culture, emotional memories you don't even consciously remember anymore. And here's the critical part that determines your entire experience. Your subconscious doesn't think, doesn't analyze, doesn't question. It simply obeys. It accepts whatever has been programmed into it as absolute truth and then works tirelessly behind the scenes to keep that truth validated in your reality, day after day. Put down in the comments, "I see the pattern now." So if somewhere deep in your subconscious you believe that love always leads to pain, your mind will unconsciously sabotage healthy relationships before they can prove that belief wrong. If you carry an inherited belief that money is hard to earn or that success requires suffering, your subconscious will make absolutely certain those beliefs stay validated in your reality. It's not trying to hurt you. It's just doing its job, maintaining consistency with what it considers to be true. But there's an even more powerful mechanism at play here that most people have never even heard of. And it's one of the biggest reasons why some people seem to have all the luck while others keep hitting invisible walls no matter how hard they try. Inside your brain, there's a filter called the reticular activating system, and it's quietly shaping your entire experience of reality every single second of every day. Right now, you're being bombarded with billions of pieces of sensory information, sounds, sights, sensations, opportunities, possibilities. Your conscious mind can't process all of that data simultaneously, so this system acts as a gatekeeper, deciding what gets through to your awareness and what gets filtered out completely. And here's the hidden truth that changes everything about how you approach transformation. The criteria it uses to decide what you see isn't based on logic or usefulness or what would actually help you. The filter is based entirely on what your subconscious considers relevant. If this gave you value, tap that like button. It helps more people discover this message. In other words, what you believe internally literally determines what you're able to see externally. If your subconscious believes that opportunities are scarce, your reticular activating system will screen out evidence that contradicts that belief. You could be surrounded by open doors, helpful people, perfect timing, synchronicities pointing you in the right direction, but your brain simply won't register them. They'll be invisible to you, filtered out before they ever reach your conscious awareness. This is why transformation isn't about changing what's out there in the world. It's about reprogramming what's in here, adjusting the filter so you can finally perceive the reality that's been waiting for you all along. But knowing all of this, the question becomes, how do you actually reprogram that filter without triggering massive resistance? Because here's where most people get stuck on their journey. They try positive affirmations, repeating mantras, standing in front of mirrors declaring things they don't genuinely feel, and it creates this uncomfortable internal friction. When you say, "I am wealthy," but your bank account tells a different story, your subconscious immediately rejects it. It feels like a lie, and that dissonance actually reinforces the old pattern rather than creating a new one. But there's a backdoor into the subconscious that bypasses this resistance entirely, and the impact of understanding this technique is absolutely transformative. Questions. Well-formulated questions act like shortcuts, slipping past your conscious mind's defenses and planting seeds directly into your subconscious programming. Unlike statements that your mind can argue with and reject, questions create a cognitive gap that your brain is psychologically hardwired to fill. The human mind cannot tolerate an unanswered question. It's deeply uncomfortable. So when you ask something with genuine curiosity, your brain automatically starts searching for an answer, gathering evidence, building new connections, all without you having to force anything. Write in the comments, questions unlock doors. Here's the transformation that happens when you understand this. Instead of affirming, "I have abundance," which might trigger doubt or disbelief, you ask yourself, why has it become so easy to live with so much abundance? Lately? Notice the difference. You're not claiming something your mind can reject. You're assuming it's already true and asking your subconscious to explain why. This bypasses resistance completely because you're not fighting your current beliefs. You're inviting your mind to find proof of a new reality. And once you ask that question with genuine curiosity and emotion, your reticular activating system immediately adjusts its filter to start noticing evidence that supports the premise of the question. Your brain begins scanning your environment for reasons why abundance is easy, recognizing opportunities you would have missed before, recalling moments that validate this new perspective. But when you combine this technique with a specific state of consciousness, the impact multiplies exponentially. Florence Scovel Shinn understood that there's a level of awareness where manifestation doesn't feel like work anymore, where it becomes inevitable. She called this the God state, not in a religious sense, but as a reference to the highest vibrational frequency a human being can access. In this state, there's no separation between what you want and what you already have. You're not hoping or wishing or trying. You're simply being the version of yourself for whom the desire is already fulfilled. This isn't achieved through mental gymnastics or forced visualization. It emerges naturally when three elements align perfectly: full presence in the now, not dwelling on past patterns or anxiously projecting into the future; elevated emotions that expand your energy field; genuine gratitude, joy, peace, not as a technique, but as a lived experience; and complete identification with your new identity, where you stop acting like someone who's waiting for change and start embodying someone who already lives that reality. When these three elements come together, something remarkable happens. The universe stops responding to your desire and starts responding to your vibration. Decisions become effortless. Synchronicities multiply. The right people appear at exactly the right moment. But there's a specific window of time each day when this entire process becomes exponentially more powerful, and most people waste it completely without even realizing it. The 60 seconds right before you fall asleep. That tiny window is one of the most potent opportunities you have to reprogram your subconscious, yet most of us spend it scrolling through phones, replaying the day's stresses, or drifting off to random thoughts. Behind the scenes, though, something extraordinary is happening in your brain during this transition. As you move from wakefulness into sleep, you enter what's called the hypnagogic state, where your brain waves shift from beta into alpha and theta patterns. The same frequencies your brain operated in when you were a young child, completely open, receptive, absorbing information without questioning it. In this state, the barrier between your conscious and subconscious mind dissolves entirely. There's no filter, no resistance, no analytical mind pushing back. Whatever you impress upon your consciousness in these final moments goes directly into the subconscious and gets processed throughout the night as if it were absolute truth. Put down, I'm ready for the shift. So if you've made it this far, I want you to know that says something important about you. You're not here for surface-level content or quick fixes. You're genuinely on a path of transformation, seeking the deeper truths that actually create lasting change. And honestly, that's exactly the kind of person I create these videos for. If this resonated with you, if something clicked or shifted while you were watching, I'd love for you to join this community by subscribing to the channel. What we explore here isn't just theoretical. It's practical wisdom that bridges science, consciousness, and real-world application. The kind of content that can genuinely impact your decisions, your mindset, your entire journey. And when you subscribe, you're making sure you don't miss the next revelation that might be exactly what you need to hear at exactly the right moment. Also, leave a comment down below saying, "This message was meant for me," so I know you were here until the end. I read every single comment, and it creates this beautiful connection, knowing we're all walking this path together, supporting each other's transformation. And if you felt value in what we explored today, just tap that like button. It helps more people discover this content, and honestly, it lets me know this message is landing the way it's meant to. There's a video right here that goes even deeper into how consciousness reshapes reality in ways you probably haven't considered yet. Click and continue with me over there. I promise it's worth your time. I'll see you in the next one.